fake stuff and said a lot of stuff that, a person that you claim that you cool with, you would never say. So that was my big issue with him. I just know, character take you a long way, and I just don't agree with the character, actions that he took.
The problem is Terence Crawford now is really only going to want to fight for big money, and there's only certain fights that can generate that kind of money.
Tensions erupted when Terence "Bud" Crawford lashed out at Floyd Mayweather following the sudden leak of private sparring footage. Crawford didn't hold back, making it clear that he felt deeply disrespected by the incident. He expressed disappointment that someone of Floyd's stature, someone who publicly calls him a friend, would allow such a personal and private moment to surface online. According to Crawford, what happens in the gym should stay in the gym. He stressed that mutual respect among champions is sacred, and leaking footage for clout or publicity crosses a line.
I had disliked a lot of things that he was saying, and how he was acting, being that, me, I'm a real individual. I just felt like, we was all cool at one point in time. And, when the Errol Spence fight was getting mentioned and talked about and, signed, I just felt like he just did a lot of fake stuff and said a lot of stuff that, a person that you claim that you cool with, you would never say. So that was my big issue with him. I just know, character take you a long way, and I just don't agree with the character, actions that.
Eddie Hearn added another layer to the ongoing conversation by suggesting that Terence Crawford might consider retiring. His comments divided the boxing world. Hearn praised Crawford's flawless resume, multiple division titles, undisputed reigns, and dominance over elite opponents. He argued that walking away now would immortalize Crawford's legacy, much like how legends such as Lennox Lewis and Andre Ward exited at their peaks. Yet Hearn acknowledged the undeniable lure of today's mega money fights. With Saudi Arabia reshaping the boxing landscape and offering astronomical purses, the temptation for Crawford to step back into the ring could be overwhelming.
Sorry?
Should Crawford retire?
Do you know what? Someone said the other day, and it's very true, because I actually said it about Usyk. We've got a real tendency, haven't we, to kind of try and retire people off? Do you know what I mean? Like I said with Usyk, I think now he should retire. And everyone's like, why do you want him to retire? It's like, I just think it's a great way to go out. I actually also think that Crawford could move down and win a world title at 160. And that would make him, what, 6 division champ? 5, 35, 40, 47, 54, 6 division champion. But the problem is Terence Crawford now is really only going to want to fight for big money, and there's only certain fights that can generate that kind of money. So Shakur, who was obviously very close to him, seemed to say, so maybe.
Young star Floyd kid Austin Schofield shared a similar opinion, saying that Crawford should consider ending his career on top. To Schofield, Crawford has already proven everything there is to prove. He's been the pound-for-pound king, conquered divisions, and beaten the best of his era. Schofield didn't question Crawford's greatness, he simply cautioned that continuing could bring unnecessary risk. However, he admitted that if Crawford does choose one more fight, it should be against rising contenders like Virgil Ortiz or Frank Martin. That, he said, would test whether Crawford can still withstand the hunger and energy of the new generation.
I feel like Crawford, he could retire if he wants. I feel like if he does get another fight, I would love to see him in there with Virgil or Duran. I feel like those are both great fights, but those are fights we just gotta see. We just gotta see those fights before. I feel like those are the only 2 fights I would entertain.
Not a rematch, maybe a rematch for Crawford and Canelo?
I feel like it wasn't close enough. If it was close, maybe, but it just was like, it wasn't close.
The idea of a fantasy fight between prime Floyd Mayweather and prime Terence Crawford continues to electrify boxing discussions. Fans endlessly debate who would have reigned supreme had they met in their primes. Mayweather's defensive mastery, ring IQ, and unmatched timing defined his era, while Crawford's adaptability and killer instinct have defined this one. Yet reality tells a different story. Mayweather's prime has long passed, and a modern-day exhibition would be more spectacle than substance. Fans know it, still, the dream remains alive because both fighters symbolize near-perfect mastery of the craft. It's a clash of generations that may forever live only in imagination.
So yeah, everybody, so this is a good
question that the ring put out. So Terence Crawford versus Floyd Mayweather, a fantasy fight that will never happen. Now, this is a really good question. Who will win between these two? Me personally, if this was old Floyd Mayweather, well, I'm going to say Pretty Boy Floyd, I'm talking about like the younger version of Floyd Mayweather wins. You're talking probably prime Floyd Mayweather versus prime Terence Crawford. You could see Floyd Mayweather beating Terence Crawford, but you're talking about money Floyd versus Terence Crawford. I see Terence Crawford stopping him in the later rounds due to Floyd Mayweather's passive style and Philly shell. I believe he'll melt. Terence Crawford would just break him, I think. People forget what Manny Pacquiao was able to do on Floyd Mayweather, have success with him certain parts of the fight, and people just need to see, Floyd Mayweather's, I would say, fights, later down the years. I think Crawford would just be able to break that defense. I don't know. The thing is about Terence Crawford, he has a very, very awkward style, very awkward foot movement, footwork. This is the thing. A lot of people were thinking, oh, nobody beats Floyd. Or if you try to compare somebody else, no, this man will beat Floyd. Floyd would beat everybody. I don't think it's a case of Terence Crawford, everybody. I think Terence Crawford would have been the man to actually beat Floyd. Honestly, for what he did to Canelo Alvarez, he beat a 168 Canelo Alvarez. 168 Canelo Alvarez.
Analysts have repeatedly pointed out that greatness cannot be measured by records alone. Floyd's 50-0 record is a once-in-a-lifetime accomplishment, representing decades of dominance and discipline. But Crawford's achievements, being undisputed in multiple divisions, mark milestones that Floyd himself never reached. The comparison is complicated because their eras, opponents, and circumstances differ drastically. Floyd fought under a bright global spotlight, generating historic pay-per-view numbers.
Floyd Mayweather versus Terence Crawford is the topic of this video, and someone posted this: number of world champion fighters beaten, Floyd with 23, Terence with only 11. But my response to this is, being more accomplished does not mean you're better than someone. By example, Canelo has 18 former world champions beaten, Terence has 11. So you could argue that Canelo's more accomplished. Meanwhile, Terence just whooped him over the course of 12 rounds over the weekend. We all saw it. Plus, more accomplished fighters lose to lesser accomplished fighters all the time, so that's a bad argument. Let's talk skill for skill. Terence Crawford has knockout power in both hands. He can switch stances. He's not a stationary target. He has good footwork. He knows how to counterpunch. He knows how to fight on the outside and on the inside. He can make it dirty. He knows how to box and he knows how to fight. There's a difference. Guys like Shakur Stevenson, for example, they know how to box. When it comes to actually getting down and dirty, the jury is still out on one Shakur Stevenson, just by example. Terence Crawford, I think, if you look at the names on Floyd's list here, Manny Pacquiao, Canelo, Marcos Maidana, Cotto, and the list goes on and on. I think Terence Crawford has a shot at beating all those guys. I don't think anybody on that list jumps off the page and goes, oh my God, I think he smokes Terence Crawford. You can't say that about anybody on any of these guys' lists and names here. So yeah, that's my take on this, man. Maybe the only guy is Gennady Golovkin. I could see Gennady Golovkin giving Terence a really hard fight, especially at that weight. But remember, Canelo lost to Gennady. Gennady shouldn't even be on this list. He's only on the list because the judges are in Canelo's back pocket. So, that's a whole nother argument. But yeah, that's my take on this, guys. Skill for skill, Terence Crawford might be one of the best of all time, and that's okay. It's okay to accept that, guys. It's fine. Let me know what you think in the comments below, whether you agree or disagree. It doesn't matter. Just join the discussion, subscribe for more, and leave a like if you enjoyed the time spent. Thank you. You are all appreciated.
Zab Judah, a man who fought Mayweather himself, offered one of the most respected takes. He acknowledged Floyd's historic brilliance but declared that Terence Crawford is the king of this era. Judah pointed out how Crawford's consistency across divisions, his ability to carry power, patience, and precision with him, sets him apart. He even reminded fans that Canelo Alvarez once hinted that Crawford might be better than Floyd, igniting endless debates online. For Judah, that statement reflected reality more than hype. To him, Crawford represents the evolution of boxing intelligence, combining Mayweather's discipline with his own aggressive flair. In many ways, Judah's praise felt like a symbolic passing of the torch. Floyd ruled yesterday, but today, the throne belongs to Bud Crawford.
To knock him out, you know what I'm saying? The size will be a factor. None of that was nothing.
How did you score it?
Huh?
How did you score the fight?
I think I gave Canelo about 3 rounds. About
Really?
3 rounds. Yeah, about 3 rounds. How did you score? You score about sound about fair?
What's that?
Sounds about right?
I had it closer, but there's loads of different scores.
2 rounds.
You gave him 2 rounds.
I had 2 rounds. Yeah, he can't do anything. I gave him a possible 3 rounds. So if I play space, we give him 2 impossible.
Where did you put him in the all-time list? 5-weight world champion, 3-weight undisputed, Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford.
He's number 1 right now. Number 1. This is his generation. This is his timeline. He is the king right now.
Just seen in the press conference, Canelo said that Crawford's better than Mayweather. What did you think?
He's not right. He fought him. He should know. How can somebody tell somebody that fought both of these guys, he know.
Yeah.
If anybody would know, Canelo would know.
What do you think's next for both?
I don't know.
Too early? You'd like to see a rematch?
Not a rematch. Rematch always sound good. But in a rematch, it'd be the same thing.
Yeah. Cool.
Matter of fact, in a rematch, I'm predicting stoppage earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think?
Yeah, I think so.
Sam.
My boy's a dog.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Thank you.
Crawford later addressed Canelo Alvarez's remarks, agreeing that Canelo's perspective carries weight since he has faced both men. But Crawford made a key distinction: context matters. Mayweather fought Canelo when he was a young, inexperienced fighter still learning the sport. Crawford, however, faced a fully matured, championship-level Canelo at super middleweight. Crawford's point was subtle but sharp: timing changes everything. Beating a young Canelo is impressive, but defeating a prime, complete Canelo demands an entirely different level of mastery. In this way, Crawford defended his own victory without disrespecting Floyd, emphasizing how different stages of a fighter's journey shape outcomes in the ring.
He was in the ring with both of us, so a lot of people, they can say what they want, but he's actually been in the ring with both of us. One where he felt like he was at the best, and another where he felt like he was at a disadvantage when he had a rehydration clause and he was younger. So, I don't know, I don't go off of that. Floyd is the best fighter, in his era, and I feel like I'm the best fighter in my era.
One thing that I thought was really interesting about the fight, I always loved watching you switch stances as effortlessly as you do. You didn't do that a lot in this fight. You didn't have to. Were you expecting not to have to?
No, I felt like I could have, but why do something when something else is working?
Easy answer.
Jeff Mayweather, Floyd's uncle, fired back with his own defense. He reminded fans that when Floyd faced Canelo, he was already past his physical prime, relying on wisdom, reflexes, and experience rather than pure speed. Despite that, Floyd completely neutralized one of the sport's most dangerous young lions. Jeff argued that comparing Crawford's version of Canelo to Floyd's version is unfair since they were entirely different fighters at those points in their careers. His comments highlight a broader truth: boxing history is often rewritten without understanding the exact timing and condition of the athletes involved. Context, once again, is everything.
Well, also if we remember, Canelo at that time was a razor-thin decision. Floyd won, majority decision. C.J. Ross had it with what a lot of people had as a draw. And then the other 2 judges scored it for Floyd, of course. And that was And that was a Floyd at the top of his game with a very green Canelo with very little experience. He still took him, into deep waters. So
yeah, what was Canelo? What, 20-something? 20 what? 23? 25?
Yeah, he was. Very, very young in the game, obviously.
Yeah, very young. He had more fights than Floyd, and he lost.
Yeah, but
man, that was 30-something years old, 36.
But Floyd was clearly at the top of his career, and Canelo had fought a lot of people. But
How you at the top of your career in your prime? You in your prime? You ain't in your prime when you're at 36. That's not your prime.
Did he lose? I mean,
your prime is in your 20s.
It's different for different people.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So, and that's why Canelo was saying what he's saying.
To
make himself look like he did something great.
Trainer Buddy McGirt's breakdown of Crawford's performance was pure admiration. He described how Crawford dictated every second of the fight, controlling the pace, distance, and rhythm with surgical precision. Unlike most of Canelo's opponents who fell into traps, Crawford refused to play the usual game. McGirt compared Crawford's control to Floyd's ring mastery but noted that Crawford adds an extra layer, an instinct to finish fights rather than just dominate them. His mix of intelligence and aggression makes him both strategic and destructive. For McGirt, that balance cements Crawford's place among the greatest technicians the sport has ever seen.
Yes.
Like, what fight were they watching?
Right.
I mean, it's. I don't know, man. I don't know what some of these guys be doing in this game, man. Some people, in situations like that, they should ask them, listen, just turn in your license, bro. Because there's no way in hell the fight was that close.
Right.
I mean, come on, man. It's just, it's not fair. It's not fair. You get a guy like Terence got here and dominate from beginning to end, and then you find out he needed the last 2 rounds to win. That's scary, man.
It is, and you see how you just mentioned scary. Now, a lot of people are saying, buddy, that type of beating, he's not going to want a rematch. But looking at those scorecards and knowing that, hey, you wasn't too far behind, even though, he did mention that, he's better than Mayweather. But, I mean, what's your thoughts? Do you feel like that was such a beating that Canelo wouldn't want a rematch?
No, I think that, in all honesty, personally, I think that Canelo's at that stage in his career right now, that it's a rematch he don't need. He don't need it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? What we saw that night, that's the stage Canelo's at right now. I mean, he's fought everybody, he's did everything, but, you know what I mean? He passed the torch to the right guy. You know what I mean? He passed the torch to the right guy. You know what I mean? He lost it to Terence fair and square, and he passed the torch. So you're gonna have another fight, cool, but you don't need to. You have nothing. He has nothing to prove. He fought Terence and nobody else would.
Analysts then contrasted the business side of both men's careers. Mayweather was not only a boxing genius but a marketing mastermind, turning every fight into an event. Fans either tuned in to witness his perfection or to pray for his defeat, and that polarizing charisma made him a global icon. Crawford, in contrast, has never been a major pay-per-view draw. But experts insist that this doesn't diminish his greatness. In fact, they argue that Crawford may be even more gifted inside the ring, able to switch stances seamlessly, dictate distance effortlessly, and finish opponents with ruthless efficiency. Where Floyd was defensive and cautious, Crawford is strategic but dangerous, combining intelligence with ferocity. He's less showman, more pure fighter.
Crawford versus Floyd Mayweather Jr. Who wins this fight? I'm going with Terence Crawford, and I don't think that's unpopular or crazy to say. I think most people will agree with me. I understand Floyd Mayweather has a lot of fans out there, but the truth is, as great as Floyd Mayweather is, Terence Crawford is one of one. And I say that because who else has knockout power in both hands, is able to switch stances between orthodox and southpaw so seamlessly, while having great footwork. It's not like Terence Crawford is some stationary target or a flat-footed fighter that's going to be chasing Floyd around. Terence Crawford knows how to cut the ring off. He has tremendous ring IQ. And not only is he a great boxer, but he's a great fighter. He'll be able to make it dirty. If he is on the inside with Floyd, that power will carry him far. And I just don't see how Floyd will be able to beat a Terence Crawford. I really don't see it. I understand Floyd's defense is incredible, but he is smaller than Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford would have a significant reach advantage on Floyd Mayweather. I believe Terence Crawford would also be taller than Floyd Mayweather, as well as all the skillful and technical aspects of what I just laid out prior. So I don't understand how anybody could pick Floyd Mayweather to beat Terence Crawford. Styles make fights, and I believe Terence has the style to beat one Floyd Mayweather. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Whether you agree or disagree, it doesn't matter. Join the discussion, subscribe for more, and leave a like if you enjoyed the time spent. Thank you. You are all appreciated.
And that's where the story rests for now. Whether or not Crawford fights again, the boxing world will continue to debate his standing alongside Mayweather. One was the face of an era defined by perfection and business brilliance. The other is the symbol of pure fighting mastery, unbothered by fame, focused solely on dominance. Both men have left marks that time can't erase. The comparisons, the debates, the rivalries, they're all part of the eternal cycle of boxing greatness.